I like it rough like that. You know what I mean? Like,
You would, sick fuck.
let's do it, man.
Start in 3, 2, 1.
Hey guys, it's CS Podcast Radio, and tonight we're going to talk about immigration, the FedEx flag burning dude, and Madonna and the crazy women's marchers in D.C. I'm Brian, and I'm here with Rob and Ryan. What's going on, guys?
How's it going?
What's up, everybody?
Come on, a little more enthusiasm, Bob.
All right, what's going on?
Woo! Woohoo! It's a CS Podcast Radio, God damn it!
All right.
Lead us off, Bob.
All right. Well, the big issue this past week, actually for the past probably 4 days, has been the immigration executive order that was put through by Donald Trump. Quickly here, I'm going to read through the 3 paragraphs that explain what this executive order is.
You need to tell us where it says Muslim ban in there.
Oh, I'll make sure I point it out whenever it's there.
All right.
The executive order is titled "Protecting the Nation from Foreign Terrorist Entry into the United States." It suspends the U.S. Refugees Admission Program for 120 days, and it suspends immigration from countries with ties to terror, including Syria, Yemen, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Iran, and Libya, for a period of 90 days. It goes on and it states, "I hereby proclaim that the entry of nationals of Syria as refugees is detrimental to the interests of the United States, and thus suspend any such entry until such time as I have determined that sufficient changes have been made to the USRAP, U.S. Refugees Admission Program, to ensure that admission of Syrian refugees is consistent with the national interest." That's what the executive order states right there. It also halts issuing of visas and other immigration benefits to people from countries of particular concern and caps the entry of refugees in 2017 at 50,000. Upon the resumption of USRAP admissions, priority will be given to refugees fleeing from religious-based persecution, provided that the religion of the individual is a minority religion in the individual's country of nationality. That's about it. Did you guys get that? Because nowhere does it state Muslims, anywhere. With the exception of people may try and say, oh, those countries that are stated or are primarily Muslim countries. That's where people are getting it. There's nowhere that specifically states Muslims.
It's not a blanket ban. It doesn't ban just Muslims. It bans everybody from the countries listed.
Exactly.
And it's temporary.
Heard time
it's
and time
temporary.
again. America first. America first.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we don't owe these people anything. Not that last time I checked, this is America for Americans.
And in the order, it states that these countries are being, categorized, because, they're countries that harbor and promote terrorism, and that being the reason why they're being temporarily banned. Now, if you associate Islam with terror, as the lefties are doing.
You're just racist then. You're so racist, guys.
They're the racists. Because that's how they're associating it. So you fucking lefty cucks and your soft racism, you guys are the racists. Because nowhere does it say Muslim ban. And now, Bobby, you got that list, right?
Yes.
Go look at that list. Tell me where Indonesia is at on that list.
It's not.
On there? It's not?
Nope.
Oh, wow. The fucking largest Muslim country in the world, not on there. Why isn't it on there?
Because it's not about Muslims.
Because they're not harboring and promoting terrorism. I can only think of one instance, actually, in the past years and years and years, compared to, like, stuff, elsewhere where there was terrorism, but just one instance that I've read about with terrorism in Indonesia. So, I mean, they're not promoting it. They're not, harboring it on a level Like
they're not creating
like,
shell companies to funnel funds to terror operations.
No, not
You
at
know,
all.
not like the thing is that really surprised me about this list. Like, we'll go into why these particular countries are listed, because that's some Trump 40 chess there. But the biggest offender, Saudi Arabia, is nowhere to be even seen there.
What people need to understand is that this executive order is a move towards a more strict vetting process. We need to vet these people that are coming to our country more efficiently. That way we don't allow terrorists to come into the country. Remember, we want to make this a safe place, not just for those who are already here, but those who want to come here legally. And that's what this is doing. You know, nobody's banned forever on this, on this executive order. You know, let's see, we've suspended the U.S. RAP for 120 days. And then we've suspended anybody from Syria, Yemen, Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Iran, and Libya for a period of 90 days. That's just to help us vet things better, to vet these people better. I don't understand why people are freaking out. It's not like these people can never come here. You know, as long as you go through the process, as long as your background comes out clean, come on over. You know, live the American dream.
You don't understand it because you're looking at it from a reasonable and pragmatic point of view. The people that are against this are literally fucking insane. They want open borders.
Yeah.
They want people to come and go as they please. The more radical, the better. Because when a bunch of fucking ISIS people come across the border, these lefties can say, "Oh, look how tolerant we are. Look how tolerant we are. We don't care that these radicals, carrying AK-47s are crossing our border, because we trust that they won't kill us. Because we're so tolerant and open-minded."
Well,
they're so fucking open-minded that their brains fell out of their heads.
They project themselves on these other people. They're good-hearted. They won't do this, so obviously these other people won't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so trusting. They're so naive. It's to a point where it's a fault.
Absolutely.
It's kind of alarming that he didn't go even further with this ban. But here's the thing with that. These are the same countries that Obama chose when he first got into the White House for travel bans to address the same issues. And he wanted extreme vetting just like Trump wanted. So it just really shows you the media bias.
I was going to say,
just how crazy the left is.
The media never said that, so how's anybody supposed to know? I mean,
right.
honestly.
Also, Obama's black, so it's okay.
Yeah, they just... It's the magical brown man.
He's also Muslim, so there's that too.
Oh, how
yeah,
dare
he's like,
you say that? That's so racist.
That makes you double exempt from like any criticism from the left. It's like, oh, he's black and he's Muslim. Well,
yeah. If he was poor, that would have been the triple whammy right there. Oh, he's poor too.
Well, he was. Remember, he grew up a poor black man.
Oh, Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia, right? Isn't that where he's from? He grew up?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Even though he grew up in a white neighborhood with a white family in Chicago, but you know.
Just it's a crazy connection we just made there with the largest Muslim nation in the world, and that's where he's from. My God.
But compared to like, the lefties that love Obama, like Obama's street as fuck. Even though he's like the fucking nerdiest black guy you'll ever see. Like fucking, what's that? Fucking Urkel from Family Ties. That's not Family Ties. Family Matters. Family Matters. That's who he reminds me of. Yeah, fucking...
Please use the Family Matters theme song for our opening.
President Urkel. You know, every time I watch Die Hard...
See what I added in.
Every time I watch Die Hard, and Carl from Family Matters shows up,
Eating
I
his
fucking
Twinkies.
lose my shit. Emma could never understand why. I'm like, that's fucking Carl from Family Matters.
You know,
If
he
you-
plays
that
a
was-
cop on everything that he's been in.
He's always either a cop or a security guard. We're talking about Family Matters.
Oh shit, we got off topic here. But go, all right, so
Well,
back to
no, that's
immigration.
fine. I mean, we can talk about the wall too.
Oh, yeah, I mean the wall that everybody thinks is going to be this, giant wall that he's building. That's not what he's doing. He's expanding our fences. It's a wall. He's building a wall.
Well, here's the
but
thing: there's already legislation in place that supports building of this wall. It's just Congress never approved funding for it.
It wasn't just his idea. That's another
He's
thing.
just carrying that ball further down the field and making it actually happen. He's actually putting that ball in the end zone.
But then you see, but what about all the people that are showing us maps on Facebook of arrows that go into the ocean and come up in Florida and come up in California? That the wall won't stop those arrows.
Oh my God! They'll get in planes and they'll fly in and come into the airport. What's that wall going to do there?
What people don't understand is it's this wall, what they're doing. We understand, and Trump understands. It's not going to stop everyone, but it will help stop some of it. It'll help stop the drug trafficking,
smuggling,
exactly,
and sex trafficking, human trafficking.
I
How many
told a
people
lefty,
get kidnapped and used for sex slaves? Nobody wants to talk about that. It's so ugly that nobody even wants to talk about it. They don't even want to address it. They don't even want to acknowledge that shit goes on. That's how terrible it is.
I was trying to explain to a lefty the other day. He goes, "Well, wall's not going to stop all of them." I said, "Okay." I said, "Do you wear condoms?" "Yeah." "Well, okay. Well, that's not going to stop every disease or unwanted pregnancy. Stop wearing condoms." "Do you lock your doors at night?"
Yeah,
Well,
do you have walls on your house?
Yeah, like just because something isn't foolproof, you're eliminating it strictly on the basis that, well, if it's not foolproof, it's not worth doing. Well, okay. I mean,
why do you wear a seatbelt? You don't wreck your car every day.
it's a ridiculous argument. But we're dealing with ridiculous people. So it doesn't matter, how logical or how good of an idea it is. They're going to find some way to say, well, it's a bad idea. And as far as $120 a household goes, that's being estimated at right now. You spend $120 a year on toilet paper. I would hope, anyways, if you're listening. So
Let's get a bidet.
only about $10 a year, really.
You would literally be paying with a wall what you wipe your ass with. If that's not worth it to you, then you're probably one of those open border freaks, so you're not even worth trying to talk with anyways.
Look,
It does make you wonder, what do they think? What goes on in their world? What do they, I can't imagine how they look at things.
it's impossible to, because we're looking at it reasonably. I mean, we're taking a look at our country. We understand that this is our country that we have to make sure that we protect, that we make safe, that we make sure is profitable, that we can have a life that everybody here who is here can enjoy. If we just continuously let people in here, if we let terrorists in, illegal immigrants in, they're going to keep taking terrorist dollars, they're going to keep terrorizing us. The drug trafficking is going to get it is already terrible, and especially in California. All of this stuff makes our country worse. But they don't want to look at that. Oh my God, there's kids who can't come to the United States now. Nobody's saying these kids can't come to the United States to have a better life. They just have to do it legally. Why is that such a bad thing?
What kind of parents would stitch their kid like that anyway?
Oh, exactly. But
you're going to separate the families. The kids will be left behind in America. Oh my God, you're ruining their families. It's like, well, if you're going to ditch your kid and go back to Mexico and leave them up here, maybe you shouldn't be taking care of your children. Maybe the state should step in.
These open border cucks that would rather have our country get fucked than actually try to protect it are from the richest and most whitest places. They've been brainwashed by Marxist professors. And
This is true.
They are more concerned with virtue signaling to others like them than they are with actually making the change. And they're taught and they're brainwashed with stuff like, all cultures are equal and shit like that. No. Islam, if you honestly think that Islamic theocratic cultures are equal to the West, that is free, where women have equal rights, all this stuff, I could go down the fucking list.
But my wage gap.
That an Islamic culture that treats women like shit, stones them for fucking going out without a male escort, throws gays off buildings, all this backwards.
Yeah, the daughter refuses to marry some old man that already has two wives, so the father throws acid on her face and disfigures her for life. Hey, that sounds like a good idea.
Horrible, ridiculous shit like that actually goes on. That feminists want to imagine like stuff equatable to that goes. They think that Western culture is so bad and we're so backwards, and then they defend a culture like that is actually backwards, that is actually just horrible things go on every day in Islamic theocracies. If you honestly think that their culture is equal with our culture, you're one of these brainwashed fucks that are protesting at the airport for, I doubt even a lot of them even know what they're protesting. They're just chanting slogans and all this empty bullshit.
All for a feel, man.
All this empty bullshit. Empty heads chanting empty bullshit. It's sad.
They're willing to sell their children, their children's children, and all generations after that down the river,
good
just for a feeling, just for a fucking feeling, just so they can feel good about themselves.
And they can make others look at them like, oh yeah, they're always trying to one up each other. Who can be the biggest cuck?
It's true, they do. Like you'll see that, with the white kids that loathe themselves. They've been taught to loathe themselves, taught to hate themselves, and they'll have their black friends hanging out, and they'll be sitting there one up each other about how not racist they are.
Yeah.
To please their black friends.
Yep.
I mean, this was a daily thing.
And the black people are just looking at them like, what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Yeah, they've just, them white boys are crazy.
See,
like, that makes black people uncomfortable when white people do that, because black people can see through that shit.
Yeah.
But
it's like, why are they idolized, though? There's no reason behind that. Like, there's no reason for us to idolize these people. They just have a different skin color.
It's the victim culture thing, where everybody wants to be a victim, and then the funny thing is that right now, like, white males are actually victims in a lot of cases. Hate crimes, you see at the Trump rallies, white guys that support Trump getting assaulted by these fucking, I don't even know what to call them, creatures from the left.
Sounds like a movie.
Fucking Smeagol.
Creatures from the left.
Creatures from the left. That's going to be my next screenplay.
Creatures from the left lagoon.
Run with it. I want some royalties. I want 1%. But yeah,
it came from Antifa with a black flag.
Yeah, it's like motherfucker with a cowboy hat, fucking leather chaps on, like, and then he's got like a Hawaiian shirt on. It's like, who the fuck dresses you? Mom, I guess. I don't know.
But there's something more. There's something deeper and darker going on here. Like, you find it everywhere in all the schools. They definitely have infiltrated the colleges. But, I mean, I don't think Marxism and communism is the root of it. I really think a lot of this funding comes from Islamic groups. because you notice, like, they just blindly follow this idea that Islam isn't violent. It's not such and such. Islam has the greatest respect for women. That's why they cover them, because they want to protect their beauty. Ideas like that. And you just have to wonder where are they getting these ideas from. And it kind of like, I guess we could segue into the Women's March thing, because the Women's March thing, I don't know if you guys want to go into it yet.
No, go for it.
Because we still got the flag burning and stuff to talk about. But it's like, you see that there are these Islamic groups that are funded by CARE and like the Muslim Brotherhood, and like a bunch of these Islamic groups that have foreign funding and are influencing not just American campuses but European campuses, and it's around the world. So there's something else going on in these campuses. I think we need to start policing these campuses in the universities, colleges.
Well, we already know that they're in our prisons,
Yeah, that's true, yes.
Extreme Islam has infiltrated our prisons for, at least 30 years. So, yeah, it's no stretch of the imagination that they could infiltrate our universities. It's kind of like a cancer, once it gets in, it just spreads.
So, I don't think it's unreasonable at all to even suggest having a ban on Muslims in our country.
Absolutely.
It goes against the founding principles of the country, where you come here and practice whatever religious whatever belief you want. But there's got to come to a point where we just say, you know what, enough is enough. We're just not going to tolerate this bullshit anymore. Get the fuck out. You have this rowdy patron at your bar, and he's fighting all your customers. What are you going to do? You just going to always let him keep drinking and fighting everybody? You're going to boot him the fuck out? Like, it's common sense, right?
There comes a point where the thing I like about Trump, well, one of the things I like about Trump is that this world police shit game that we've been playing for way too long is going to come to an end. Like, they need to clean their shit up. The Muslims, if they are really serious about, trying to get a hold of, the problem in Islam and get rid of ISIS and all that, let them fucking do it. We stay within our borders, and we handle within how we see fit. Let them handle it. I know that Mattis is going after ISIS, and I agree with that. Drop fucking bombs on them, but as far as putting boots on the ground, we've done enough of that.
Or like I said in the last episode, where are the Muslim armies at? How come they're not chasing them down? Why don't the Saudis and the Jordanians, especially in Israel, where are the Israelis at?
Yeah, Israel wants no parts of that either.
Israel should be down there on the ground fighting.
Well, you gotta remember,
they want their greater Israel project. They want to expand Israel. Let them fucking fight.
But look at how Obama treated Israel over the last 8 years. It's not that they don't want to, but again, they don't have all the resources to do it. And
Who?
Israel. They don't have all the resources to take care of it.
They got tons of gear.
Well, I'm sure they
have some of the best military tech in the world.
I'm not talking about technology and stuff like that, but
You're talking about the soldiers.
Exactly. They don't have the ability to send troops out to fight terrorist groups out and about when they have other countries knocking on their door trying to take them over. And Obama left them out to dry for 8 years. So they're doing what we're doing right now. They're worrying about themselves.
Them Jews better start getting a fucking and make some soldiers then. They need to.
Again, I agree.
That's what America needs to do too.
I agree.
They've really tightened the belt. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But they really tightened the belt on American families to where you can't afford having more than 2-3 children.
But I agree. America needs to focus on us. We need to look at us, and we need to shore up our borders. We need to make sure that the people within America are safe, are profitable, or are not profitable, but are thriving. That's what we need to make sure is going on
America
here.
First.
However, we do have to, and we do realize this, and Trump realizes this, that protecting America is also about going out. So we are going to need to go out and fight terrorism out and about in different countries. I know that Donald Trump had a hour-long conversation with Putin. I don't know if it was today or yesterday. I can't remember from what I was reading. But one of the big things that they were talking about is tackling terrorists, tackling the terrorism within the world. It's going to happen. We have to do it. We can't just sit here and wait for them to come to us. We have to work with
the Russians for sure.
But that's the thing.
Trump's going to change that.
You're sitting here saying that Israel needs to buck up and go head at it. Well, yeah, they have to, but they're a smaller country. They can only do so much, so they need help from a country like us. And that's what we need to do. We need to make sure that we're there to back our allies in those situations. However,
we need help too.
But again, exactly, we need to.
That's the thing. We need help.
Yeah,
we can't be the world police anymore.
No, not at all, and I'm not saying that.
No, I know. I
don't think the answer is American troops on the ground. And maybe if we're giving them air support or something.
Yeah, I mean,
intelligence gathering.
We have the technology now where we don't even need to put boots on the ground in certain places.
Yeah,
I mean, the drones are the way of the future. I mean, we might not be alive to see it. In fact, I can almost, assure, the viewer that none of us will, but there's going to be a time where it's just going to be fully, automated wars. And it's just
I think we'll see it. I think we'll see at least like track-based weapon systems.
Like
not like fucking Terminator walking machines or nothing like that.
People
like cheap like $20,000 kind of systems or something.
Yeah, like people they'll just look like they're playing a video game in a bunker,
yeah, exactly.
1,000 miles away.
They'll never have the definition so where you recognize the faces on the camera technology. It'll just be a bright white or yellow dot, and you know what I mean. Like it'll be a figure outline of a human, and that'll be it. That's all they'll see, and they'll just pull the trigger, and then it'll be nothing. They'll take their headset off, and then they'll go and eat Subway or whatever. It'll be nothing. It'll be nothing.
But yeah, I mean, I guess this is just like a personal thing for me, but I don't want to see any more boots on the ground when it comes to this war on Islam, unless it absolutely is, a necessity, because we don't take good enough care of our veterans, and there's a lot more that we need to do, and we need to stop putting them on the ground like they're just some fucking expendable commodity where, send them off.
Well, that's the whole thing with the Iraq war. It was completely unnecessary. We didn't need to be over there. We didn't need to do that.
It was. Saddam Hussein, the only thing he was a threat to was
terrorists.
The sea life. And the sea life over there, because he liked to fish with grenades. He wasn't
a crazy bastard.
he was retired. He was enjoying himself. His sons were pretty much, they were taken over. Really, he handed them over the reins. I'm sure Saddam had input on a lot of things still, but he was done. And we went in, grabbed him out of a fucking bunker, and hung him. But justice, right?
I think that was what a lot of it was. The fact that his sons were taken over, because he was CIA's guy.
Oh yeah, he was
the power over there.
He was most definitely a narc. That's why he was allowed to reign for as long as he did.
Yeah, we sold him those weapon systems. We sold him the chemical weapons and the sarin gas and all that shit.
Yeah, they used it.
Yeah, they went after him. You said, "Oh, they got WMD." You say, "Oh, how do you know that?" "Oh, we got the receipt from when we sold
they fucking sold him to him. Yeah, but yeah, he wasn't a threat. It's just so ridiculous.
Yeah, he wasn't a threat to us over here in the States, no doubt. He wasn't.
Bush and Cheney pretty much insulted the American people with that. That insulted their intelligence.
And he destroyed the conservative brand over here.
Absolutely.
Trump revived it by bringing common sense to the table.
Saddam Hussein was when Saddam Hussein was removed, that was the where ISIS emerged from. Saddam Hussein was keeping that region stable.
He was the stabilizer.
Yeah, and then that's where that's now why we have ISIS, because we hung Saddam Hussein. So you can fucking.
And they did have that plan to pivot over into Iran. They wanted to expand that war, and none of our allies were having that. They just saw the response to the Iraq war. Everybody knew it was unjust. Everybody knew it was based on lies. If they would have went in with better intelligence or for better reasons, I think they would have had better public support.
Absolutely.
But Iraq was just a bullshit war. And then he had Dick Cheney, that evil fuck, and then he gave all the contracts in Iraq to Halliburton.
Yeah.
Which was his company, or he was the CEO of the company, major shareholder. And then all those videos leaked to him sitting there laughing, having a good old time, saying, they didn't know that at the time when, they elected me that I was a major shareholder in his company, ha ha ha, like, he was getting off on it,
They're fucking
pissed a lot of people off.
Cheney and Bush, they're war criminals.
Yeah.
No doubt. They should be on trial for war crimes. That's another topic for another day.
I mean, just like that right there, like that's where the left is coming from. That old thought process, that old line of thinking. I mean, it's valid, and that's what paved the way for Obama.
Yeah.
But what they failed to see is that Obama continued those policies. He continued to drop a bomb every 20 minutes for 8 years straight, and nobody said anything about it because he was, oh, he's a black guy. If you say anything about Obama, you're a racist.
Not only did he continue them, but he expanded on them. Like, Obama was so much more of a war hawk than Bush was. I mean, Obama might have
created over 6,600,000 some refugees from Syria, and nobody said a fucking thing.
I mean, granted, Bush was the one that started the wars, and I get that, and I understand why Bush, George W. will live on in infamy, and it's rightfully deserved. I mean, I hate Bush as much as anyone on the left does.
Yeah.
But, like, Obama...
I think that's the main reason why we supported Trump, because he was the anti-Bush.
Well, yeah, people have had... The right has had enough of the neocons.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, so, like, Obama, he took Bush's fucking... He took everything that Bush did and ran with it. I mean, when you look at his presidency, he ran with everything that George W. Bush established. Obama rather, expanded on it.
Especially all those executive orders.
Absolutely.
And the national debt ceiling, downgraded credit rating, all the bailouts, and he never brought the economy back.
No.
Never. We just sat here and suffered for 8 years, and then they shoved all their virtue signaling down our throats. Oh, you can't criticize him, you're a racist. How'd it work? What are you doing? Fuck, where's all jobs at?
We talk about it. Unemployment's down. Oh, wait, that's right. Unemployment's down because there's so many long-term unemployed people that they're not able to get unemployment anymore.
Yeah, and
oh,
then they go
shit.
fuck with the numbers like that, and they think you're an idiot and you can't figure that out. That's the biggest insulting thing right there.
Well, the leftists can't figure it out because they just listen to what the media feeds them.
Well, yeah, when the left doesn't have facts on their side, which is like pretty much every time, they either skew the numbers or they just make shit up.
I think they refuse to speak against their official narrative. It's like they say, left doesn't punch left. They just don't.
Well, it was just like with communism, where, the term politically correct derived from, you had the official line, like, this is what we believe, and if anything disproves it or contradicts with it, you just, you know what I mean? You just pay, that shit never happened.
Yeah,
you just
put
ignore
your
it.
blinders up and just
You either ignore it or you kill the source of the contradiction, or who's trying to disprove it.
Fucking find them in a ditch alongside the road one day. It's communism. Communism, fucking biggest killer of all mankind. We've never seen killing like that ever before. It really took the cake on that one.
So, since we're kind of dying off here, what happened with that flag burning thing this past week? I haven't even seen
FedEx guy. Hey,
Matt fucking Urin. I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. Matt Urin.
Matt Urin.
Uhrin. This dude, right? You have this fucking ragtag bunch of lefties.
I took some balls too to just march right up into that crowd and just look. You know what? You're not doing this no more.
These motherfuckers, they just look like they came from like the sewers or some shit. They're burning the flag, and this dude just comes
smoke ring.
Yeah, this dude just comes in with a fucking fire extinguisher. It's just he grabs the flag that they're burning or I don't know if he grabs it, but yeah, he hits it with the fire extinguisher. I think he put 2 out, if I'm not mistaken, in the video. But he had some choice words for them. He called them a bunch of fucking retards. There was another guy in the video. I don't know if he was with them or he was just a bystander, but he's trying to explain to the lefties, why they're all, they're wrong with burning the flag. He calls them treasonous. But it's one of those videos where you're just like, you know what? The tide continues to turn, and it's turning the right way in this country, where you see
finally.
If this was something that was going on when Obama was president, you wouldn't see anything like this. You wouldn't see FedEx saying, that they're not going to terminate the guy. I'd give him a raise if it were me, but they're not going to terminate the guy.
This is the official remarks from FedEx on Twitter. We have reviewed the matter in Iowa City involving driver Matt Urin. He remains a FedEx employee, and we have no plans to change his status. There you have it.
So the political landscape and everything, it continues to turn towards the right, and it's really good to see, because like when I watch a video like that, the first thing I think is like, oh man, like I hope he doesn't lose his job over this. Like I really respect somebody that does something like that sticks to, what they believe in, and are willing to stand up for that. I mean, that's commendable, and I love to see it. And to see FedEx, like anytime I have an option to deal with FedEx, I will in the future. I love that. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I first saw that, I just immediately thought, like, oh, man, that guy's going to lose his job. Like, we've seen this so many times. Like, somebody sticks their neck out, and that's it. And, we find out, they get doxxed or something. You know what I mean? They're getting harassed by everybody. And there's nothing you can do because there's so much breathing down on you.
Yeah,
but FedEx did the right thing. They stood up for him.
I'll go ahead and tweet out the link to the video on our Twitter. So if you haven't checked it out, definitely go on our Twitter. You can see it there. You can also probably find it on Facebook on our on our page there. But it is. I just watched it. They're literally. He has a flag in his hand, and they're trying to rip it out of his hands to burn that one. It's absurd. I'm sorry. I don't know what you were saying. But yeah. It's absurd.
What were they protesting though? Who was there to see it? They were just like standing around.
Fucking 7. They're probably the only 7 left-wing people in Iowa, and they're protesting. I think they were protesting the Trump immigration thing, but I'm not sure.
No, this was Friday. This was before he signed that, I think.
Oh, okay. Who knows?
Who the fuck?
I mean, they're probably just protesting Trump being president.
Yeah, it's a good...
I know a lot of them are doing that too. Not my president. Not my president. Yeah, keep on fucking saying it until your voice goes.
Oh, man.
Be saying it for 4 long years, at least.
There was also a petition that reached 3,000 plus signatures stating that he should keep his job. So, I mean, there's people supporting him.
I guarantee that FedEx's stock is going up. I'd buy some if I could.
Yeah, for sure. I hope every FedEx driver's like that.
If you're listening, you buy FedEx stock, lose money, don't blame me.
Oh, man. Anyway, so with that, I know that we also wanted to touch on the Women's March. I know that was last week. We touched on it a bit last week, but we kind of were more all about the inauguration and everything that took place. So, Ryan, I know you had some things you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, there's just I would just implore the viewer to just. I know when I YouTubed it, I just YouTubed Million Woman March SJWs, and you'll get a lot of good results. But the one that really sticks with, besides the whole Madonna thing that I touched on in the last podcast, Ashley Judd, that should be her name, Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd. She had this weird rant about Trump where she says, like, she starts off, she goes, "I'm a nasty woman." And she goes on, she goes, "But I'm not nasty as a man that looks like he bathed in Cheeto dust." And, like, she ran, she goes on this rant, and, like, the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm watching her, I'm just thinking, like, these celebrities, these leftist celebrities, your Ashley Judds, Ashley Judd, and Alec Baldwin guys, people like that, they live in this bubble. And the only time they leave their little Hollywood white bread bubble is to virtue signal to, common people, like the women that were in that crowd that day, and the cucks. There were a lot of male cucks there too. And they do this virtue signaling. They did a little rant that's going to make the 5 o'clock news and all that. And they talk about Trump, and they say all these nasty things about him. And then they go back to their bubble, and they live their Hollywood life where they live in their mansion, their millions of dollars. And all I'm thinking about when I'm watching this woman is, like watch the video on YouTube. She is fucking crazy. Like, if she's not on meds, she should be. Some Xanax, some something. Maybe she just needs a cock. I don't know, but she needs something.
Probably a couple of them.
one in each end. Fucking Eiffel Tower. But yeah, like, I just watch some footage. I mean, have you guys watched any of that besides the Madonna thing?
I just really was stricken by that Linda Sarsour one. But
yeah.
I'll let you continue on what you're saying. I'm looking up information for this Linda Sarsour. She's she was sitting there tweeting, somebody criticized her. She said, basically, she's a Muslim, Miss Lena Sarsour. She has family ties to Hamas, which is a terror group. That's what I'm looking up right now, information on that. But she basically said that, if you don't stand with her, you should basically have your vagina removed. And, I mean, coming from a Muslim and Sharia law and how they treat women, like, she had no place up on that stage.
They already cut their clits off in Islam.
Yeah, they take razor blades and they call it genital mutilation, where they remove the clitoris, because in Islam it's against Sharia for women to feel pleasure.
So tolerant and so progressive.
Like how jealous do you have to be?
You cut their clits off, you dress them like bitches.
Like the crazy cheap fuckers that they are. This is what they go and do, and how they treat their women. And then she's up there telling us about women's rights in America. Like, get the fuck out of here with your fucking nonsense.
What was the woman's name? The black woman that crushed a guy's balls with fucking pliers?
Oh, shit.
Shoved a metal rod up his ass. That was another speaker at this million-woman march. Like, that tells you everything you need to know about third-wave feminism or whatever the fuck they choose to label themselves now. Like, these women literally hate men. I mean, they say it all the time. They want men extinct, particularly white men.
Well, did you see the one lady? She was saying, I forget. I wish I had the fucking information, like the name, but she was basically calling that all male babies should be murdered at birth. Because what?
Like, what else
I don't know.
What else can you do but just laugh? Like, these people are fucking insane. And they legit believe this shit. This isn't like for a soundbite or something like that. Like, this is stuff that they legitimately believe in. You want to talk about radical? That's as radical as it gets.
Is the woman that used the pliers called Lisa Twigg? Twigg?
That sounds right. Black woman, she has like short,
looking it up right now.
Short hair.
I don't think this is it.
What was that dude that sang the thong song? She looks like Cisco.
No, I don't think it's Lisa Twigg. I just looked it up. Some white chick.
That ain't her.
Pliers, crushed testicles.
That's giving me on Google.
How does Google automatically look up and say testicles for sale? What the fuck, Google?
Find anything.
While you're looking that up, and I know we're on the Women's March thing, but I'm just kind of scrolling through Twitter here as we're talking, and I come across a tweet here. Now, one of the things that has been talked about over the past few weeks here is how actors and celebrities should stay out of talking politics.
Shut the fuck up.
I agree to a certain point. Don't sit there and talk about your views and stuff like that. I mean, you're talking about Madonna, Ashley Judd, or Dud as you like to call her, whatever. But going through here, there is an actress who literally, this is her quote. A lot of people are saying right now that actors should keep our mouths shut when it comes to politics. But the truth is, no matter what, actors are activists because we embody the humanity and worth of all people. This union helps me to do that. I am Kerry Washington, and I am an actor. Kerry Washington is an actress.
Who the fuck is that?
My thoughts exactly.
But when
I found it. I found the chick.
But
right.
Real quick, when did actors become activists?
They're not. They like to think of themselves as that. They like to think of themselves as people that... I mean, don't get me wrong. There are people that actually care about what actors think, but they are fucking morons. I don't care, like, oh, Alec Baldwin thinks Trump's a dummy. Cool. Alec Baldwin is a fucking dumb piece of shit.
he hasn't done anything since the 80s.
It's true.
Whoa, what's Alec Baldwin's claim to fame? He's a fucking Baldwin, okay? Like, fucking Baldwin family, like, the fuck, like, who cares? You really, like, if that's something that, like, you think is important, that an actor agrees with you, it says a lot about you. It says that you're a fucking idiot.
I got the article here from the Daily Caller. I apologize to the listener. We weren't really prepared. We're just winging this one.
Never
But,
prepared.
I mean, it's the best when we wing it. Okay, it goes... the headline reads, it's from the Daily Caller by Peter Hassan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. It goes, Women's March featured speaker who kidnapped and tortured a man. Okay, the article goes on. The Women's March in Washington last week featured as a speaker convicted felon Donna Hylton, who, along with several others, kidnapped a man and then tortured him to death. Hylton's name is listed on the Women's March website along prominent liberals like Planned Parenthood President Cecil Richards, activist Gloria Steinem, filmmaker Michael Moore, and CNN commentator Van Jones. Hylton, along with 3 men and 3 other women, kidnapped 62-year-old real estate broker Thomas Vigliaro and held him for ransom. Held him for fucking ransom. Holy shit, who does that? For eventually killing him. As noted in a 1995 Psychology Today article, when asked about forcibly sodomizing the victim with a 3-foot steel pole, one of Hylton's accomplices replied, "Oh, he was hung anyway."
My online business.
Speaking about Hylton, New York City detective William Sperling told Psychology Today.
Hey, real quick, I want to stop you there. We may have a little technical difficulty. Video just started playing on my computer, which may be heard by everybody else but you guys. So, can you repeat? Go back about a paragraph and go from there. See how great we are at this, guys?
What the shit, Bobo? We're leaving that in there, you know that, right? Anyway, yeah. All right, I'll get to the bad part. It says, as noted in a 1995 Psychology Today article, when asked about forcibly sodomizing the victim with a 3-foot steel pole, one of Hylton's accomplices replied, "He was a homo anyway." Like, who gives a fuck? Who cares? Who cares if I fucking murdered this guy and raped him anally with a steel pole to death? Speaking about Hylton, New York City detective William Sperling told Psychology Today, "I couldn't believe this girl, who was so intelligent and nice-looking, could be so unemotional about what she was telling me she and her friends had done. They squeezed the victim's testicles with a pair of pliers, beat him, and burned him." According to the same article, Hylton delivered a ransom note to a friend of Vigliaro's, asking, I don't even know if that's how you pronounce the guy's name. Give me a break from pronouncing it wrong, dead guy. Sorry. Asking for more than $400,000. That's the ransom. Even though the victim was already dead by that point. I'm just going to stop it right there. Because, I mean, you've heard enough, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's enough, you know. They sodomized him to death, burnt him, fucking smashed his testicles with pliers, and now she's up there in front of the world saying, you know, how great she is of a women's rights supporter. Complete fucking criminal that deserves to be locked up, maybe even executed.
So, I mean, like, to me, like, what it says about third wave feminism is, like, it confirms to me, like, you know, and reaffirms to me what I've felt for a long time, which is the third wave feminism has nothing to do with equal rights. It just has to do with hating men. Because why else is a person like that there? I mean, you have a person like that there that did all the things, that or was a part of it, and other people took part in it as well, and the person, or persons that are talking about kill all male babies and whatnot. I mean,
then you have an advocate
feminism
for Sharia law where the women have no rights. It's okay to stone your women. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're one of those idiots that thinks there's a wage gap or anything, those kind of feminists. Okay, like I'm gonna laugh at you, but like I have no reason to think that you hate men. But like
and then Gloria Steinem, who she's sitting there in a picture, says, I had an abortion, and she's sitting there, oh, she's so proud of herself. She was so brave and strong and killed that unborn child. Oh, yeah, that's worth celebrating.
Yeah, that's just sad.
I mean, disgusting.
If that's like, you're legally allowed to. I mean, I'm pretty indifferent when it comes to at least the early stage abortions. The late ones, I'm more against it. But
yeah, they have heartbeats.
Brain
activity.
But like, if that's something, if honestly, if you're okay with having an abortion, then you wouldn't be out telling the world that you're proud to have had it. You know what I mean? Like, it's not something that's like something very personal and something that most people are going to keep to themselves, not out of like guilt necessarily, but just like, why do you feel the need to tell everyone like, I had an abortion? Well, okay, good for you. Like, most people are just going to be like, okay, like, but like
they should feel shame.
These third wave feminists are like, oh yeah, you go, girl. Like, how many you had? They got
here's a voucher for a free abortion. One on me. Hey.
Yeah, they got like cards and shit that they how many abortions they've had punched in them to get the 10th one free. But like, it's
crazy.
Just like, it's just weird to me that such a thing even exists, because it's just like, I know if I were in a situation where I had to do something like that, I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, I try to put myself in a woman's shoes, and I wouldn't go out and be telling the world that, because it's like, it's something very personal. If you're going to do that, that's not something that you share. You know what I mean? Like,
it's almost
as
if these people are on a mission to take whatever is traditionally seen as decent and morally right, and just flip it on its head.
Turn everything gray. Yeah, I agree.
It's like they're on a mission from hell or Satan or some shit.
There's
they really gotta question their motives. What are they after? What's their end game? They just fucking destroy and ruin society. Is that what they are? They're just destroyers of the fucking world.
Yeah, it's just it's the whole gray area thing. I mean, I'm definitely, I consider myself, a fairly intelligent person, like, and I understand that there's a lot of gray area in the world. I get it. But these people are just trying to eliminate black and white. You know what I mean? They want everything gray, except for hatred of people like us. And, we definitely, that is black and white. You're white, you're male, you're definitely the enemy. Everything else, gray.
Like he had Canada just legalize bestiality.
Fucking Trudeau, man. Don't get me started on Trudeau.
What the fuck is going on with these people? Oh, yeah, just go fuck an animal. Who cares? What kind of shit is that?
Speechless. I don't know.
Fuck, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know.
Completely baffled. Like,
I don't know.
In that moment where we were completely and utterly mystified with our disgust of what the left had become, what those people represented, the recording stops. Maybe it was a technical difficulty, maybe it was divine intervention, we may never know. But this brings to conclusion this episode of CS Podcast Radio. I'd like to thank you for listening. This is Brian. Good night.